Alright everyone, so you know what time it is? It's time for my Disney Pixar's Lightyear spoiler review. I've just come out of seeing it at the theatres, and we're just gonna jump straight into it. So I actually went to see this in London at the Odeon Lux in Leicester Square, and I would recommend going to see Lightyear in a big screen in a lovely cinema, because it's a beautiful, it's probably one of the most, if not the most beautiful Pixar film, and probably the most beautifully animated film ever. And I was particularly impressed with the fur on socks. I mean, the animation was fantastic. So if you're just judging on animation alone, best Pixar film. Socks was great. He was so funny. But I thought he'd have more lines, but he didn't. But whatever line he said was funny. Chris Evans does a fantastic job as Buzz, actually. I actually had a hard time telling the difference between his version of Buzz and Tim Allen. And there's also a sense of, maybe it's not unique then to Chris Evans. But in some instances, Chris Evans brings his own uniqueness, while still feeling true and respecting Tim Allen and trying to mimic him a bit. I also loved all the references they put in here that he would say. So, for instance, he said in the film, "Come in, Star Command. Why don't they answer?" And he kept saying, "Blast, blast," which is what Tim Allen's Buzz would say. I think everyone did a fantastic job with the voice acting here. I'm very mixed, okay? I love the story. I love the concept. It sounds good on paper, and some parts executed so well that I feel like, wow, these are some of the best parts of Pixar, and maybe some of the best parts in film history. Like, some of the parts are that good, and then there are other bits of the plot which just drag it down a little bit. I think it's still like top 5 Pixar films for me. Like, after I came out of this film, I was very satisfied, and I was going, wow, Pixar are back. Lightyear, I thought, wow, I'm gonna say right now, this is one of the best Pixar films, and it's great. But there are just some bits that I go, why couldn't they have done this? And that would have just made it better. There are just some bits that drag it down for me. So, Hawthorne, his friend, with the emotional grip, it was compelling enough when she said, "Oh, Buzz, it's your last mission. I'm not going to be here to greet you when you come back." But we get introduced to her within the first 5 minutes of the film, and we don't explore her greater relationship with Buzz. We only get 5 minutes of them in the present day, and then Buzz starts shooting off every 4 years. So when she does say, "Buzz, I won't be there to greet you when you come back," some of that emotional connection is taken from us because we haven't explored enough time with the character and how they met and their relationships. So you don't get that tug, but you still get a tug where you're like, oh my goodness. And I know it's supposed to feel bad for Buzz, and I do, but I would have loved to just had more sadness, if that makes sense. But it is, and this is where I think, wow, great in cinema, amazing Pixar. And I go, wow, because when she said, "You'll come back in 2 or 1 years, but I won't be there to greet you," and everyone in the theatre just knew what that meant. Everyone was dead silent. And when she goes on the hologram, "To infinity," and Buzz just goes, "And beyond," and he looks at the picture and a little tear comes down on his cheek. That is so sad. And I cried, man. I cried. Again, I cried in a Pixar film, and I haven't cried in a long time. So, in a Pixar film. Buzz was very cocky and arrogant, which served this film well, but I hope he does not have the same characteristics in the second film. I hope he grows as a character. I think they're trying to do what they did with the Tom Holland films, which is build him up to the Buzz Lightyear that you know and love, because they're obviously planning a franchise, and I think by Lightyear 3 he will become the Buzz Lightyear that we know and love. But in this, he was very cocky and arrogant, but I enjoyed that, and I could accept that because it serves the story in a greater purpose, and he grew as a character. I liked all the other characters, but they were there to serve Buzz. Like Darby, The only thing we get for her is, like, she was sentenced. And Taika Waititi, he was there for comedic purpose, but we didn't really get any backstory for him. And obviously with Hawthorne, I liked her granddaughter, because she's trying to live up to this, to her grandma, and she's trying to impress Buzz, but everything she does, he's just going, "You're a rookie, I can't trust you, I'll do the mission alone, blah 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 blah," and he's just turning her away. And then by the end of the film, when he hears that speech from Senior Hawthorne, he finally accepts them as a crew and embraces them. And basically, how this film ends, it kind of feels like that Buzz Lightyear TV show on Disney Toons, Buzz Lightyear and Star Command, and I think that's what they're going to go for number 2, and they all have the really classic Toy Story Buzz costumes. They're all in the same colour, and, I mean, those costumes look fabulous, so I want to see a lot more of them in number 2, and that's when the CGI and it all really popped for me, and it was perfect. Look, I love Zurg, alright, but I didn't like him in this, because Zurg should be Buzz's father, like they said that in Toy Story 2, but Zurg shouldn't be Buzz. I feel like the villain of this film should have just been Buzz. He didn't need to get in a Zurg costume. And I think what they're going to do for Zurg is the same with Buzz. They're going to build him up, and then in Lightyear 3, he will be the Zurg that you all know and love. You know, destroy Buzz Lightyear, destroy Buzz Lightyear. But in this, I don't think Zurg needed to be introduced. Just have the villain, you know, anonymous, because Buzz is his own villain. Buzz makes this one mistake because of his arrogance, and that breaks him for basically the his entire life. And then what's really powerful is he meets himself and he realizes, no, I have to move on from this mistake. I have to. And that's when I thought, wow, Pixar, that's amazing writing. That's amazing writing. But why did you have to put old Buzz in a Zurg costume? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And old Buzz is competing for, look, he thinks what he's doing is right. He's trying to mend his mistake. He's trying to do what he feels is right. And then our present day Buzz is going, no, because Commander Hawthorne, she had a life on this planet. It's good. It's not necessarily a bad thing. There are pros and cons. And ultimately, I can't change the past, you know, and I have to heal from this mistake. I have to let go of the past. And by the end of the film, he does. And that's where I think Buzz Lightyear, or the Lightyear film, has a great villain. Because Buzz is the villain. Buzz is his own villain. But obviously, they tease Zurg coming back. And I think by Lightyear 2, it will be the Zurg that, as I said, we all know and love. I've got my Zurg Lightyear design. Like, I know I said I didn't like Zurg in this, but the design of Zurg, oh my, I mean, I had to pick up a toy. But I just wish, like, old Buzz was voiced by Chris Evans as well. I feel like it's going to be very rewatchable. The first 10 minutes are absolutely stunning. Guys, thank you so much for watching my video. To infinity